Hey YouTube, how are you doing? I'm making a part 2 of a video. It's titled 2020 In Retrospect, Part 2. Now, there are a lot this year has been a very unpredictable year. We have been battling a disease that has taken the lives of over 300,000 Americans, despite the fact that, those numbers are not as alarming as you think, but it's still a lot of people. And we went from battling a disease and people and riots and racial tension, which all seem to have been connected with COVID-19 somehow, as far as how the news had reported and presented the topics at hand. And it's funny because this has been literally the worst year for most Americans, or should I say almost every American out there. And we had a one-time deal with getting the $1,200 stimulus check, with $600 stimulus checks that are coming underway once Biden officially becomes sworn in as President of the United States. So now, we went from racial tensions and Black Lives Matter marches and protests and riots were everywhere this year. I mean, buildings were being burned down. And this is something I used to see in my dreams every night. And the fact that those same images, especially that image of Portland, that building being burned down, was something I've been seeing for years before. And it's strange how a nightmare that I've always imagined has come to fruition exactly how I had imagined it. This has been a very emotional and a very unpredictable year. And businesses have suffered so much, and with the whole country being under quarantine, every street you drove in looked just like a ghost town. So I think it's definitely safe to say that this year was definitely unpredictable, and a crazy one at that. And this has been apparently the worst year for Americans. I mean, this definitely beats the whole trend of 2016 is the worst year ever. And that was trending on Twitter and every social media platform. So 2020 has definitely been the worst year ever for the United States. And with the Trump supporters and everyone else who has been marching in D.C. just last week, or the week before, if I should say, the rallies of the Supreme Court. The good thing I can say about this year is that people are now more awake than ever. When it comes to people are more awake than they have ever been when it comes to the corruption of the establishment. When it comes to the corruption of the establishment and what's it called? Fighting against the New World Order. More Americans are awake to the corruption of the establishment more than ever before. And that's a great thing that we have in this country now. There are more resistance groups. And I'm not talking about QAnon. That's, not really a great source to take seriously. That's more like undercover kind of, what's it called, secret agent stuff, like where they pretend like they're a resistance group, but they're really not. And it has been a horrible year, and many people became depressed, and a lot of people have, more Americans have undergone substance abuse as a result of how depressing this COVID-19 era has been. But despite all that, how emotional and how much turmoil and how unpredictable this year has been, 2020 has been perhaps one of the best years I have ever had. Basically, basically everything that I wanted pretty much has come to fruition. And I couldn't be more satisfied with this. And I mean, not everything went according to plan, but things were starting to come into place for me. I mean, can I say that I was really happy with this year? Oh yeah, I'm very happy with this year. It was a great year, almost perfect. But on the other hand, despite the fact that I was really really happy this year, and despite the fact that this has been a wonderful year for me, this of course came at the expense of every other American citizen's misery, which is not something that I wanted. It's not that I want people to be miserable just so I can be happy. I told myself in the beginning of this year, I'm going to make this a great year. This time, this year will be a good one. And I honestly hope that 2021 will be a better year for me and for every other person out there. I mean, misery loves company, and I don't want to be a part of it. And for anyone who's watching, I don't want anyone to be a part of it either. So, I just wanted to say that I hope you all enjoyed your holidays, spent time with your family and friends this Christmas, and I really hope that for those of you who have suffered, I really hope that there has been a glimmer of light through the gloom, and I hope that 2020 will be a better year, especially for all you subscribers out there. So I wanted to say thank you guys. My subscriber count went up to 236 subscribers. It's not a lot, but it means a lot to me. The most I've ever had was like 200 before. Now I'm up to 237, 236. So, 2020 has literally been one of the best years I have ever had. I mean, things are finally coming into place, and my life is finally getting better for the first time. And I really hope that 2021 will be a better year for me and better for every single American, because we were off to a very rocky start in the beginning of this year, especially with all the the propaganda of how deadly COVID-19 is and how they're overhyping it just to use that as fear mongering to put us down. But thanks to the resilience of every other American out there who has marched and protested in the streets of Washington, D.C. over the election fraud, that comes to show you that, that there's still hope for the future of the United States, and that the U.S. itself not only may have a brighter future, but the U.S. may very well defeat, the New World Order, and it tells me that there are still many Americans out there who still have integrity and they still have a backbone, and that's something I can get on board with, something that I can appreciate as well. I wanted to wish you guys the best, especially for my subscribers out there. Thank you guys very much. From the bottom of my heart, you guys have been great. Iowa unemployment, the useful idiot, he's the one that boosted up my views thanks to his endorsement. I'm still going to thank him even though we went our separate ways. And everyone else who has been commenting on my videos. And I want to give a shout out to my friend, Xavier Gamble. We have very different views from one another, but he has a YouTube channel. I'd like to promote him. And I wanted to say, once again, I appreciate it. Much love to you guys. And I would like to wish you all a Happy New Year. If you don't see another video, then most likely this will be my last one for this year. So, Happy New Year to you guys, and I hope next year will be better than this year, and hopefully drama free as much as possible. Take care of yourselves and each other. And this time, stay healthy.